Welcome back to Fleet Plays Rule the Waves 3. And tonight you find me looking at what I believe to be the Spanish capital ship of the future. Yes. So I think while our 18-inch capital ships have had a very, very good run, and I do believe they have had a very, very good run indeed, I feel like it's becoming clear that the ways of those ships are sadly, how do I put this? They are not long for this world. They will be probably retained as part of the fleet's core towards the end of the game. Especially since with upgrades they can be pushed to 28 knots. But ships like this will be the future. Yes, guns and armor are retained, because there comes a point when all the missiles have been expended, and we are in the period where you can have some levels of survivability from the construction of a ship's internals. But these ships are very much geared to deal with a problem that we have been having during this conflict with Italy, and that is the large force of heavy cruisers that they have with 8, 9, or 10-inch guns that are quick. These ships are designed to kill them. Yes, it is a battle cruiser, but it kind of needs to be. So that'll be saved. No. There we go. 1 second. Let me just make sure that everything is as it should be. And it should be. Oh, that's actually a lot less than I thought. There we go. So the battle cruiser Cadiz, with 5-inch secondary guns. There we go. That can be saved and held on to for use later. Probably once the Hispania rebuilds have re-entered the fleet. But for now, everything is reasonably alright. We've fought a number of carrier actions with the Italian Navy. We've killed, I think, 2 of their large fleet carriers and 2 of their light carriers for no losses ourselves. Poor old Alejandro I is looking at me going, why do I still have my big 8-inch guns, boss? And I keep telling it, I can't afford to drag you in, you're too valuable. And of course, we have the Abel du Père, which I've not renamed after buying it from the French, because, well, the French have been our ride-or-die allies for most of the game. And with her 84 aircraft, she is, by a lot of metrics, the most powerful platform we have. And of course, she's supplemented by a US carrier, Ticonderoga, which I am tempted to rename, but haven't thought of a good name for it yet. We've got a decent number of large modern destroyers, but what we don't have is cruisers. Our cruisers have been getting mulched by Italy's large force of armoured cruisers. And whenever our battleship is not available, it causes problems because they'll basically fight anything else and win. But, without further ado, let's keep hopefully winning. And also bring more of our destroyers back into the active fleet. There we go. With a bit of margin for error. Did I build... Yeah, I'm waiting on those new naval air stations and the expansion of one of the southern ones. I think everything is as it should be. Admiral Dupere is a little bit down from her complement because of some of the actions she's been in. That's okay. It's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Right, okay. Well, if it's Isle de Cuba, I think she should be able to run. She should absolutely be able to run. Yeah, and Cartagena is right there, so If it's pretty much anything, if it's not an armed merchant raider, then basically there's nothing we can do. I didn't think it was, yeah. The Italians have released their armoured cruisers to raid. And short of releasing my battleships to go after them, there's very little I can do about that. Ah, heliocopters. Very nice. I always like a good helicopter. That'll be useful. Well, that's good. Got a new cruiser. 2 of our cruisers working up. Those ships are auto-loading cruisers, carrying auto-loading 6-inch guns. We're now waiting on the rebuilds of our missile cruisers and the rebuilds of the Hispanias. But once they're done, well, I've also got to start building the new Barcelona-class purpose-built missile cruisers, which have more missiles but less guns. And we have the Chikara as well being built, but they sadly do not have missiles. And I think I have a missile ship I built up for the war. Yes, the T-58. Very cheap destroyer I can build in pairs for the cost of 1.5 of the bigger destroyers. And most importantly, they do have a good ASW kit, and they do have 2 heavy anti-ship missiles, which will come in very handy. Right, next turn. Standing policy is to refuse cruiser actions. And the reason for this is that they have heavy cruisers, we do not. We're thrashing them with our... Those are some of our new destroyers, but again, it's in the Adriatic, and I'm really not happy. Like I say, I'm playing to my strengths. My strengths are my battleships and my carriers. My carrier air wings are just absolutely knocking 7 bells out of them. But yeah, no, we're not risking any of our forces that close to. Hey, increased missile hit rate. Hey, good job, submarines. Hey! Oh, shame. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're really actually trading. We're trading fairly well in the submarine game, actually. Yeah, we're doing all right. We lost the destroyer, unfortunately, but that's okay. That's not too bad. It's not perfect, but it's not so bad. And we do have a new Chikara coming into the fleet to replace those losses. They're still working up. So as soon as they're worked up, they'll be rolled into the Mediterranean. As I only have 2 cruisers holding it down, and I need more. I need so many more. Oh my god, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. No. Oh, Italy's just not coming out to play. Enemy coastal raid. Okay. No, we have limited cruisers, and even if they don't bring heavy cruisers, we'll still be outnumbered, and we'll be reliant on land-based aircraft to kill them. No, not worth the risk. Right. Yep. Okay, this is... Yeah, I'm reassigning it to the Carrier Division 4. There we go. Yep, so we have our battleship, so she can keep the armoured cruisers away. And we know for a fact those 18-inch guns do hurt them. Right. So, first things first. What's a scout pattern? Scout pattern looks good. Give me heavy cap. I'm not going to go for two-phase search. Get me a parallel course towards the southeast. And we'll keep the battleships close in to the... Yeah, actually, I will launch scout aircraft from the battleship. It'll help. Because the one thing I found in all of these carrier actions is that because of my heavy focus on scouting and because of a lot of the... Well, and also we have the land-based aircraft of Barcelona as well. And, oh, okay. One of the reconnaissance aircraft has attacked a submarine. Good for her. Absolute mad lad. And we have our subs there as well, spread out on a line, 3 boats. And, oh, that's beautiful. Not only has one of the scouts spotted them, that's perfect. That's brilliant. Right, okay, we're going to absolutely drop the hammer on them. Right, okay. Yeah, we're going to absolutely drop the hammer on them. And I do mean just completely knock them for 6. It'll take them a while to get organized, but if we could do that... And then, of course, we can get a much quicker strike off from our smaller carriers. And that'll soften them up. Okay, and that's... Okay, so one of them's going south and one of them's going north. Okay, so we have... Yeah, this is why I'm making the carriers head south and away, and why I'm keeping the battleships between us and them. Right, okay, we have had another report. Okay, that's 2 reports saying carriers going north. And at that point, my decision is to go with... I have two datum points saying they're going north. So, at that point, my gut says they're going north. So, that's what my gut says. That's what I'm sticking with. Yeah, my gut says they're going north. The reports I have say they're going north. They're going north. I need to move my capital ships east because they are... Wow, that was quick. I didn't even realize they were approaching enemy ships, but apparently, missiles have been launched. Aircraft are engaging. Oh, dear lord. The power. Oh, torpedo hit. That's very good. And here come their aircraft. Oh, that's a pathetic strike. That is actually a very pathetic strike. That is 3 propeller-driven aircraft, and that's just run right into the teeth of... our cap. Yeah, that is really not ideal. And the bombing Admiral Dupere, which is, for them, even more not ideal because she's the one with all of the AA guns. Like, she can put up an absolute hail of flak. And I mean, a real Bomby Dazzler of a flak barrage. I'll tell you one thing, those aircraft aren't getting home. What do the reports say? That was light cruisers. That's not really what I wanted. I wanted to try and nail some carriers. Oh, please don't tell me I forgot to actually... Well, we'll see, won't we? Okay. Oh, yeah, here are the missiles. That is not ideal. All we have to do is hope that she can put on speed, turn away. We do have jammers, so in theory we can actually... Okay, something's been hit by a missile. Presumably enemy carriers, I hope. I really do hope those are the sounds of exploding carriers. But you can never be too sure. It's one of those things where you just don't know. Yeah, and this is where our very heavy... my thing about having heavy cap over my carriers comes in clutch. Because they just can't get through the light jet fighters. They just can't do it. And we have lots of missiles being launched, and if I'm not mistaken, yep, that is the enemy carriers. They have been found. They are being engaged. Missiles are landing on them. That is beautiful. My only question at that point would be, can we work up a follow-on? The answer to that question is yes, we absolutely can. We absolutely can. It'll be a bit of a hodgepodge to do it, but we can absolutely do it. Who has... Okay, you have no AS. So yeah, you should be heavy load. Go. And so get that strike away. And we can do another one. We can get another strike going. Out and away. With a decent escort. Not stupidly heavy, but good enough. What's my latest reports? Information on some cruisers heading east. I am going to order them to go after the cruisers, the light carriers. Because we do have to start winnowing now the heavy cruiser numbers of the Italians, because they are honestly becoming a more annoying threat than the... Sorry, than the, carriers. Because it's become abundantly clear that they basically cannot threaten me with carrier aviation. Their jets die. They can't get close. Yeah, what's the latest objective information we've got on them? Time right now is 10 o'clock. Some information on enemy ships up there. And yes, we know there were assets in that area. I am now going to swing upwards towards the coast, because a good admiral always remembers his objectives. And I absolutely do remember my objectives. Yep, we'll have some float, we'll have some... no, we're not adjusting that strike. We're going to absolutely drop another hammer blow on them. Hello, Leslie! We're fighting another series of carrier actions with the Italian fleet. And, again, we seem to be winning. Yep, to get the search float planes up. There we go. Aircraft on the way out. Ooh, that's a lot of... It's a lot of cap, that is. That really is a lot of cap, yeah. That's not ideal. Right, okay. So, we'll say we need to get the Ticonderogas heading sort of south and away. Because we need to make sure that those enemy heavy cruisers do not get to close with... Hey! Torpedo impact! That is very, very, very good indeed. Okay, and there comes a bit of the Hodgepodge Squadron. We have aircraft on their carriers, they have aircraft on ours. But our aircraft are generally better. Oh wow, they have... I mean, please, bomb merchants. You're not really hurting me. Better than ready political notes on 1920s Japanese radical elements. Well, funny thing is, the Japanese are actually here with me. Then they haven't committed any forces to this action, but there's a small Japanese squadron, I think, of one of their light carriers, a few cruisers, and 2 flotillas of destroyers here in the Med with me. But... okay, torpedoes have gone out. We have reports of cruisers. We have reports of cruisers. When was the last report we got on the carriers? It's all just cruisers. That's a force of cruisers. Where have the enemy carriers gone? I mean, it's possible they've been sunk, but I hate not knowing. And I mean, this is the problem with this is the or DevOps, but you're not in the 1920s. No, we're not in the 1920s. No, it's 1953. This whole battle's been conducted with missiles, torpedoes, and bombs, and a lot of the damage seems to be being done from anti-ship missiles. Although missiles haven't quite proliferated onto the most of the vessels on both sides yet. But we're getting there. But aviation is delivering a lot of missile ordnance to both sides. And I'm trying to keep my battleship between the enemy's formations and my you can't hurt the big old bear of the Spanish Navy. She is perfectly fine. Thank you very much. Please do not try to glide bomb the Spanish battleship. She is perfectly fine not being glide bombed. Thank you. Now, time to dusk. Well, actually. 3 hours and 30 minutes. I suppose if we have accurate intelligence... Oh, God. Wow, okay. Their carriers have fled way away to the north. But, luckily, now that we know exactly where they are, we can work up a strike. And absolutely knock their block off. And I mean, really knock them for 6. Because we now know where they are. And that means that we can destroy them. And that strike will arrive before dusk. And of course, we're also going to work other carriers into the Ah, that's why. There we go. So get that strike away. Like I said, these light carriers that I have are very, very, very useful for generating more sorties. And that they absolutely are. Yep, there we go. Right, so this should be... unless I'm very much mistaken, this should be the final curtain call in terms of actually delivering the final blow in this engagement to the Italian carriers and other assets. Although I do wish my carriers would listen to orders and steam westward. I know they have to conduct flight operations, but... And I just think we have, I suspect... Yep, we have exactly found the enemy's carriers. Again. Although they do have a very heavy cap, but luckily we have escort fighters to help bully our way through it. Bombs landing everywhere, carriers being hit by heavy bombs. And then, of course, another strike just dropping right on their heads. This is just absolutely horrific. I mean, I really do feel for the Italians here. They're just... And another torpedo hit. I mean, that's just a two-angle attack. All of the... Yeah, that's a massive amount of our squadrons coming in. Our dive bombers, our escorting fighters. And we're just absolutely dropping the hammer on them. It's not quite World War II or Pacific War levels of aircraft strike. Neither side has the carriers to actually generate that level of strikes. But we are still talking at triple digits of aircraft for most of these strikes. Missile hit! Yes! That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Now even more of them. That's horrific. Now I really do have to stay ahead of that carrier force because it seems to be blundering. And now our long-range patrol bombers are delivering torpedo attacks against the... No, actually, I don't want to detach her. What's happened to her? Has she suffered an engine casualty? She's not taken a bomb hit. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what's happened. She suffered an engine casualty. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Although flight operations have now concluded for the day. And our carriers will now turn west. What are you doing? There's no flight operations at night. Please go west. And then put our battleships behind the carriers. And put our battleships on a course that will lead them directly back to the land targets that we are defending. An army base and another army base. Because I suspect they're going to try and sneak a squadron of cruisers in and try and hit that. Leslie Ian says, you just need to watch out for the radical group, the New Right, which is really the last of the Arctic radical groups. They would most likely act you too. I mean, I'm Spain. I'm not Japan, and it's the 50s. We put down a revolution. All those hits. Okay. It's not so bad. We lost the destroyer, and we sank a light carrier and 2 light cruisers. It's okay. It's not so bad. So the flat top they've lost, and they have lost one of their larger light cruisers and one of their brand new missile cruisers, which is even better. Bari has heavy damage, probably from a torpedo hit. Yeah, but she's not sunk. And a lot of their carriers have taken missile hits, as they often do during these engagements. Oh, attack you. The Japanese have no reason to fight anymore. The Philippines broke away in a rebellion. Basically, the entire fleet there couldn't stop them breaking away. And the Japanese are allied to me right now, so we're all right. And also, the game doesn't simulate that closely the politics of Japan. Or any nation, really. Hey! Angled flight deck. 17-inch guns. The Westland Wapiti. Now we have our new medium bomber just in time for the war. Beautiful. We are losing subs, but that's okay. Not a problem. Japan is adding VP. And again, that's another crushing victory for the Italians. I need to make sure that our cruisers are working up. They are. And we will have the rebuilds, which are our first missile-armed ships, back in the fleet fairly sharpish. Once they're rebuilt, we'll need to lay down another one of the new Barcelona-class missile cruisers and some of the new cheap guided missile destroyers that are war emergency builds. So, next turn. Action with light forces. Now, they have, if the Japanese provide a flotilla of destroyers to this action, I'm fairly happy to... That is not an action with light forces, good sir. That is not an action with light forces. That's another full fleet action. Although, they are probably going to be very, 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 very dead. Because their carriers cannot be repaired yet. And also, they have less ships in general. So... And the Japanese have committed one of their powerful armoured cruisers. I think she's got auto-loading 8-inch guns. To support the battleship Castilla Leon. But what I don't know is where the enemies are. So, first things first, maximum cap from the vessels supporting the battleship, because one of our carriers is, and heavy cap from our other carriers. But they are down a flight deck, so they will have less carriers. And I don't know if any of their fleet carriers will be around. Simply down to the fact that... Okay, never mind. I don't think the carriers are going to get to decide this one. I think we're going in with guns. Oh, those cheeky sods. Quick, use the other ships in the task force. Mask the... Right, there we go. Okay, so here we are. We're in action. That is an enemy missile. Turn. Oh, good lord, she's taking a hit. She's on fire. Drop speed down to 20 knots to help us control the fire. She's okay. Some superstructure damage, but she's reasonably all right. We'll drop her down to cruising speed because she's in gun range anyway. With those big 18s of hers. and we will let those big 18s do the talking. They are not going to want to close, or not too much. Oh, Lord. Luckily, okay, those missiles were spoofed by the chaff. The Italians are very clearly bringing more and more missile-armed combatants into their fleet. Right, okay. We have information on the location of 2 enemy light carriers. And I am going to absolutely drop the hammer blow on them. 7 bells out of them. That's what I'm going to do. Right there. What was their course? That direction. That's pretty fresh. No, we'll leave those aircraft behind. They're not going to be needed. And we'll launch that strike away now, because if we don't get that strike off now, we're going to be in trouble. Oh, hi, Halfman. Nice to see you. You snuck in there when I wasn't looking. Welcome. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite show. Fleet knocks 7 bells out of the, out of whatever nation he's fighting with carriers. I'm doing it again. Yeah, we are starting to suffer from shortages in our missile magazine, which is a little bit disconcerting, but that's okay. Carrier Division 6 is, again, 2 other of our light carriers. That's fine. There we go. And I'm going to throw you gents at that massive swirling melee of cruisers. And for Carrier Division 14, they've not got much available, but I'm going to, and because they are so close, we're going to very rapidly generate that sortie, and we're going to send that into that melee. And we're going to launch... There we go. And we're going to launch a strike from Nishin's float planes with bombs. I mean, hey, it gets them off the... It gets them off the deck. How's she doing? Oh, wow. She just shrugged that off like a champ. Like, missile hit? I feel no missile hit. Just absolutely shrugs that off like a champ. So what are we up against? Oh, that's Palestro. She's pretty much... She looks like she's brand spanking new. No wonder they're so confident pushing in. She's got 16 10-inch guns and 4 heavy ship-to-ship missiles. She's indicative of a new era. Oh, she was! She was! She was, until Castellan lined her up and nailed her with an 18-inch round to the face. You're approaching me? Yes, I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer. Once again, Castellan showing exactly why she's the GOAT. Just casually walks up and just puts an 18-inch round through the turret face of one of those turrets. And again, I'm sat here going, you're trying to fight a battleship with heavy cruisers when that battleship has 18-inch guns. What did you think the end result of that particular line of thinking was going to get you? I ask you. I mean, genuinely, what did you think that was going to lead to? I mean... Well, enjoy. See you soon. Yeah, Leslie, you have fun. Take care. Yes, there. So there's two actions going on here. There's the surface action, and then there's the carrier action. And one of their cruisers is just learning why 18-inch shellfire hurts even if you don't get flash-fired. Unlike, I'm sorry, you're fighting a battleship. Yeah, your missiles are your only... Yeah, the missiles are your only... Oh, that fire is really spreading now. I really don't like where this is going. That fire is really beginning to spread. We need to slow down and control it. Don't feed so much wind into that fire. We need to slow down. Let the damage control crews get it under control. Make ourselves as difficult a target as we can. Oh, that fire is spreading out of control. No, 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 no. One missile hit is going to kill this ship. Oh, no, no, no. If she dies, this entire action goes to hell in a handbasket in 5 seconds flat. Without her big 18s, this entire task group dies. Okay, I need to make a move, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to order the destroyers that are with us, which are Japanese vessels. I'm going to order them in with their torpedoes, and we're going to see if we can't deliver some damage. Come on, lads. Yes! Yes! Get the fire under control. That's it, boys. There you go. And here comes the aircraft from other carriers. Japanese destroyers have loosed a nice spread of torpedoes. That... Hey! I think that torpedo attack, might, in addition to our aircraft arriving when they did, might have just saved Castilla Leon. Just caused absolute panic. Okay, the fire is actually being brought under control now. Come on. Come on, boys. Fight that strike. Fight that fire. Come on, boys. Fight the fire. Fight the fire. Also, buy us time to withdraw if you can. Castilla Leon's done well, but she needs to withdraw. She needs to lick her wounds. I don't know if our aircraft found and engaged anything in the south. If they did, I didn't get any information about it. I have been a little bit busy fighting this surface action up north. Drop speed down to 7 knots. Let's really try and put this fire out. Whoops, there goes one of the Japanese destroyers to a torpedo hit. Come on, firefighting crew. I believe in you. Did they do it? Yep, the fire is out. Okay, let's get away to the north. If we can. I feel like that we don't have anything to defend here. That engagement has gone our way. The one the next day might not. So let's get Let's boogie on out of here. Let's get away to the north. Head for Barcelona. Lick our wounds. The old lion lives to fight another day. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. There we go. Everybody into harbour. And even the Japanese ship survived, mostly. And the Italians lost their most powerful heavy cruiser. Which they probably thought was going to be, yes, we'll finally kill that battleship. And the battleship just goes, no. No, you are not in my class. Go away. Heavily damaged, but she lives. Oh, it wasn't what I thought it was. She was misidentified. She's Sanguisto. However, it was an 18-inch round. Came whistling through her turret and flash fired her. And then, of course, the Puglia is heavily damaged as well. So we did okay there. And the... did the Italians have carriers there? No, I'm not seeing any. If any Italian carriers were... Oh, here they go. Yeah, they did. They had one of their large carriers and 2 light carriers, which sadly we didn't find or hit. But that's okay. You can't win them all. I think that's like the 3rd battle of Minorca now. Okay, our subs are just casually... And I think, did Japan just sink 2, like, heavy cruisers? I really hope they did. If they did, that's just a yes moment for us. That really, really is. I'm going to check the almanac. Italy. Sunk ships. No, I'm not seeing any heavy cruisers that have died. No, well, there's Venezia we got. Carlo Alberto we got. Sanguisto we got. Trieste. Oh, okay, so they did. Yes, they did actually sink 2 additional. Well, that's even better. That brings the numbers down even further. They're down to 18 heavy cruisers in service. And only 3 carriers and 2 light carriers. Or they have now started building another large carrier. A repeat of the one they're currently operating, which you can understand given the circumstances they're involved in. We need to wait for Alicante to clear the slips before we can build the ship that will take her place. But that's okay. Cruiser action. I am not taking it. No thank you. Unless the Japanese are willing to provide armoured cruisers, I am not willing to engage in a cruiser action with the Italian Navy. Not in any way that matters. Oh. That's a really small, compact carrier action. Okay. Well, in that case, then I can add the monster, Amiral Dupere. most powerful carrier that we have. And they give me carriers, but it's going to be a night battle. Yeah, that's fun. Give me a fairly heavy cap. So what I plan to do is I plan to move away. You know, I need to get Amarelle Dupier's engines looked at. She's not in a good way. I'm basically waiting for sunrise. And then as soon as I get sunrise, we'll launch our aircraft, we'll find the enemy carriers, and we'll engage them. And the reason that I'm doing it this way is basically because I don't have the cruisers for a close-in knife fight at night. And they know it. They probably brought the carriers to try and, oh, what's the word? Yep, there we go. I mean, yes, they managed to get the land target, but we will get them. We absolutely will get them. We know where they are. And as soon as we can, we're going to warm up and launch a very heavy strike. There's dawn. And we still can't use our aircraft because the weather's terrible. It's a horrible squall. And I'm not stupid enough to go in there with my cruisers. I have limited numbers of them, and I've only just built them. Right, okay. Can we launch aircraft? I hope we can. No, we cannot. Even though it's lovely low clouds. Alphaman says the weather is perfect. Stop complaining. It won't let me launch aircraft. They didn't even bring any carriers. The hell? That was weird. Okay, so Italy is basically going to have to be punched until it dies. Right. Okay, then. First thing to do is to build, in that case then, with it being a total war, we should expect losses. The Spaniards will be out of the yard soon, which will help with that, and we're going to start building the new destroyers as well. I do also want to start building new submarines, and actually I will start doing that. We'll start auto-building new coastal boats. Yeah, the Italians are not in a good way. What have the Japanese committed? They've committed a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, a light carrier, 18 destroyers, and 22 subs. And the sub force has seen better days. Yeah. And we also need new corvettes as well. Another raid on our coastal installations. That's not exactly ideal. Not ideal at all. And again, it's another massive fleet engagement. No, we'll take that fight. This is a chance to really inflict damage on the, on the Italians again. We need to knock down their carrier numbers again. And knock them down, we absolutely will. Maximum cap over the battleships. And heavy cap for our normal carrier aviation. Make no mistake, we will find the enemy. Okay. Ah. That looks like 2 groupings of carriers. So what we'll do is against the northern group, we'll unleash the full power of the of Northern Force carriers. And of course the aircraft from those carriers that could not attack the other carriers will join the Southern Strike to beef that up. The Southern Strike will primarily be the responsibility of Carrier Group 5. Although it won't let me launch it. For reasons I don't fully understand. I do find it a bit weird. It'll let me launch that one. But yep. There we go. Okay, I guess we're going to have to send that in as is. That's fine. Not a problem. And then Carrier Division 15, which is Alejandro I. She will again add her aircraft to that strike. And the basic premise here is we're going to absolutely drop a sledgehammer on them with our carrier aviation, as we basically always do. Wherever those carriers are, we will be there. We will hit them. They will not know what hits them. And it's become quite clear to me that the southern carriers are moving north. So if we go south, we'll fly right past them. And that is exactly not what I want to do. Yep, that's fine. Those northern strikes should be absolutely fine. And so our aircraft have gone in to deliver their strikes. That looks like a nice hammer blow indeed. And their aircraft are coming against us. But again, our heavy aviation assets are defending against that. Torpedoes have been dropped. Whether or not they will actually succeed, I do not know. But we can but hope. Apparently merchants are being bombed. I do find that somewhat interesting that merchant traffic is here. I find that very odd indeed. Missiles have been launched. A good missile hit has been delivered to something. 2 more missile hits have been delivered to something. And we are just absolutely dropping the hammer blow. And I'm actually maneuvering the battleships in. I want to absolutely make certain that once these enemy carriers are crippled, that they do not, under any circumstances, get a chance to withdraw. We're going to move in, and Castle de Leon's 18-inch guns are going to absolutely clobber them. The ideal, that's the plan. Then we'll recover our aircraft and do it again. Well, Ticonderoga's aircraft have found things. They're strafing them. Torpedo bombers going in. No torpedo hits, sadly, but that's okay. That's fine. Not a problem at all. Right. Now we should be ready to go again, I think. Not quite yet. We still need to recover our... Actually, given the amount of aircraft we have, we can probably go again with a composite strike. Okay, they are running east. That's fine. Not a problem at all. We will just hit them hard again. Torpedoes, heavy things. That is fine. Carry Division 5. Again, round up our new aircraft. Load them up with ordnance and send them off to war. Yeah, so we need heavy load on you and guided load on you. There we go. Right, okay. Send those out. That's really going to hit them hard. Yes, we will. I will just check my information. But everything points to the carriers being around there-ish. It's not perfect, but it is close enough to government work that I am actually happy with it. Just about. I am desperately, desperately trying to catch up to these carriers with our battleships. Battleships, sorry, singular. Just to try and make sure that it dies. And the aircraft do say they are ahead. And they have now found them. Even if we lose the land-based installation, which we may or may not, it depends entirely on how the action goes. But the option to, well, first of all, I've been given accurate intelligence on where the enemy carriers are and what they're doing by the aircraft that arrived. They're pretty much exactly where I thought they were. And by causing them to dodge and weave to avoid missile attack, they are basically slowed up enough that the battleships can come in and deliver that very, 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 very nice hit that we very, very much want to hit them with. And, okay, missiles and torpedoes are landing hits. And I mean, good lord, how much ordnance can you drop on an enemy? I'm going to head south for a little bit because apparently latest intel puts their carriers south of me. About 30 minutes ago. Okay. We actually have contact. We have contact. I say again, we have contact. That cannot be an accurate... That's not accurate. They have thoroughly misidentified that. That is not what we're facing. Whatever it is, I'll still put 18-inch shells into it and send it to the bottom. No problem at all. Why did you shoot Castilla Leon? What did she do to you? Now we have to drop to 10 knots to fight those fires, which is annoying. because it does mean that they are going to get away. Right, while I'm doing that, how have the... Okay, again, they have been recovered. So, once again, we ready all of our aircraft. We have the latest intelligence on their carriers. That is pretty much, I think, about as fresh as it gets. We get our strike ready. We bomb up or torpedo up our aircraft. And we go and we launch yet another strike. And we make absolutely certain that we just keep continuously hammering them. That is the way. That is entirely the way you do it. You just continually hit them. Just an overwhelming display of aerial firepower. They really do not like Castelleon at all. They really are not fond of the old girl. They are really not fond of her. Then again, why would they be, given the fact that she is the ship that is the killer of any of their ships if it gets within a gun range of it. The problem is getting it within gun range. Okay, I want to just check the reports. Latest intel puts their carriers down there, steaming south. That is fine. There we go. Right, fantastic. And just give me 5 seconds, folks, and I'll be right back. Right, so we will now hit them again. Yeah, that is the problem. She doesn't have the, I mean, the missiles absolutely wreck her upper works. And that is absolutely true. But they don't really render her combat ineffective in any meaningful way. I just have to draw off for a bit until the fires are out. And then she can return to actually blowing things up. And obviously fixing her turrets, which tend to get disabled quite a lot by missile hits. Well, they're back again. Oh, and something else is coming south. I don't know what it is, but it just wandered into 18-inch gun range and is getting punished for it. Oh, the good, the fires are out. But give me 24 knots. And there goes the massive horde of aircraft. Off after their carriers, and I think we've just found them. And we found a destroyer. Need to make sure we're directly behind it so he doesn't have a torpedo launch angle as we pound 18-inch shells into him. Ooh, 18-inch shell hit on a destroyer. That's really going to ruin his day. And he can't even bring his missiles to bear on us. And I think that's the Alpha Strike actually landing home on the enemy carriers. Yep. That is exactly what it is. At this point, the Italians have fallen into US syndrome. Like, every time they build something new, I hit them. And I keep continually hitting them. And there is nothing they can do. They're just going to keep getting hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered. There's nothing they can do about it. Not a thing. And there's the proper full-on Alpha Strike going in. Don't know if we've got any bomb or torpedo hits, but we do have missile hits. And on carriers, missile hits hurt. Although whether or not we're actually going to see that have the impact I really want it to have, I don't know. Remains to be seen. Possibly, possibly not. Okay, apparently their carriers are steaming south again. I want my carriers to adopt a northerly course. I mean, yeah, they find my carriers and just get jumped by my cap. Whoa. Okay. Apparently we just got attacked by a missile. But from where? And what? That's fine. It's not really a problem. I mean, from what I understand, the enemy's carriers are somewhere. And I really do want to find them. Basically. I know we've done damage. I know we've dealt hits. I know that we've done bomb and rocket damage and missile damage and torpedo damage to these carriers. What I don't know is how much apparently there is a carrier to our north. Which way was he going? We have a lot of very conflicting reports here. On CV, course northwest. I was told there was an enemy carrier. And I would very much like to engage that carrier with my surface fleet. But we will... Okay, what's the latest? It's a carrier going north. There's some to the east, probably fleeing from the battle area. And that is a little bit close to land-based Italian air power. I feel like I should conserve my squadrons and await the arrival of... Well, I think that's the game, folks. That's the action. That's it all squared away and done. The fight's over. Air operations have stopped, so we couldn't get within gun range of only a few things. Still, another successful victory. We've damaged them for basically no damage in return. Which is always what you want. Ah, so they have moved a force of ships in under the cover of darkness. Ah, AFK for 30 minutes. Fair enough. And they have now... Okay, what's the butcher bill? Okay, sadly, we did not manage to sink any carriers. We got the cruiser Ethiopia. With a torpedo. We got the armored cruiser Genovia, and I think she took a torpedo in the engine room, took a bomb hit, and then she got jumped by Castilla Leon with 18-inch shell fire that just crippled and ruined her. It's not perfect, but they didn't achieve their objective, and we did still win. I think this is the second Battle of Catalonia. Nice. This is good. This is very, very good. Enables night-capable fighters. Well, that's not really what concerns me. There's no point having night-capable fighters if night-capable strike isn't a thing. Which it isn't right now. So, what I want to know... We're alright for carriers. Although the Italians have really leaned into the war and are building 2 more hulls. And at that point, and 2 more light carriers. Which means, well, they won't be ready for at least 3 years. Although one of them is absolutely huge. The light carriers will be around earlier, so a year and 2 years respectively. So we've got a year, basically, to clobber more Italian flight decks. As we have been doing. What I'm going to look at is... I'm going to look at actually building something new. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Almira class cruiser. And my plan basically, because of course it was auto loading, so that's why it got what it got. Barcelona as a missile cruiser is probably going to be the test bed for it. So she's going to get a... to keep the cost down. No, probably not. Probably not. Build the new armored cruisers. That's what we do. We're building the new subs. Oh, excuse me. She's all right. Oh dear, poor girl. Poor girl. Right. Oh dear, it never rains but it pours. But yes, so bringing in the last of our auto-loading cruisers that we've built, which we now have 2 rebuilds, which are missile cruisers, and we have 3 auto-loading cruisers, and we have 1 old anti-aircraft cruiser, and 1 very old cruiser on trade protection. We really do need more light cruiser tonnage, but we need that freed up from the recompletion of the Hispanias, which will bring 2 28-knot ships into the fleet after a lengthy rebuild, which is annoying. But hey ho, had to be done. I can't afford to take any of our carriers off the line if they're not damaged. Because they have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. What I am going to do, though, is... I don't mean to do that. Where are we? Add ship. Sorry, hang on. Oh, right. So, 2 divisions. So, first carrier division and second carrier division. First carrier division has all of the fleet carriers. And the rest of the carriers, the rest of the ships are in second carrier division. We will assign a new commander. We'll assign a brilliant admiral to first carrier division. And we'll assign a above average aviator. Oh, he's leading first battle division. An above average contact admiral to second carrier division. Right, okay, coastal fortifications. We need to expand our bases in Spain again, and we need to add more aircraft to Palma. Another squadron of medium bombers. We know how this ends. She dies, and she's valuable protecting the trade lanes against opportunistic submarines. So, like I said, if anything goes wrong, we'll run her into Cartagena at the best speed she can manage. Which at this point now is 24 knots. It is one of their armored cruisers, and I think she is gonna die. She can't run. The only hope was to get to Cartagena, but that's not gonna be the case. She's gonna be finished off, sadly, which is very, very sad. And it is a small victory for the Italians. We will press for... No, we'll crush them completely. A few more months will do it. The Duce holds a speech dismissing all peace negotiations. Of course he does. Improved things and early surface to air missile mounts. Very nice. Okay, so they are sinking our subs. The Japanese have lost 2 destroyers while sinking a light cruiser, a destroyer, and a corvette, which is very good. Well done to the Japanese. Very, very good for them indeed. And the Hispanias are about to come back into service, which will free up ton displacement for cruisers. Which is fine. Although I do need to start building those battle cruisers because I'm going to need them with the way the war's going. Raid on coastal installations. I am really not happy risking anything that close in. And you haven't given me carriers. That is just asking to die. So no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. Well, we have our 2 new cruisers, but we don't have any of the missile cruisers, and we don't have any of the modern destroyers. So we will be immediately turning, laying on the horsepower to go to 31 knots, and we will be running as best we can. Because we don't have missiles, they do. We don't have any capability to actually respond. They do. They likely have armored cruisers. Although, I'm not seeing any armored cruisers, actually, now that I think about it. I'm not seeing any armored cruisers at all, actually. And that is the thing, with very little cruisers, there they are. And this is the thing, the Italian light cruiser force is in a really bad way now. Yes, they have missiles, yes, they have everything else, but they can't actually, if it is just like cruisers, as it seems to be, they can't fight even some of my older 6-inch cruisers in a straight gunfight. Never mind ones that are armed with auto-loading 6-inch guns. And, well, here comes the insult to injury. Aircraft from Majorca have come in, launched missiles. No hits. I mean, both sides' aircraft just came in there and did some shenanigans. But it caused us to fall behind, which is annoying. And now we've got to draw back into missile range. Once again. I don't know if our ships can blind fire. Alright, break off the pursuit. They nailed us with a torpedo. Which is just typical. Things are going well, and then things go horribly wrong. Luckily, Almira's crew does seem to have actually patched the hole, and they are fighting the flooding, which is good on them. She is, however, very heavily damaged and will be out of action for a while, which is annoying. But it can't be helped. It is, as they say, what it is. Ah, so close. Ah, well played, Italy, well played. No, he's doing okay, actually. Okay, I will just go with the Navy can fight whatever because this war is going, but I'm not... I know I'm not going to lose it, but I know I'm not going to win it either. Well, at least not right now. I need stuff like the Hispania's back. I need other things. I need more destroyers. I need more missile capability in the fleet. I need the other Hispania back. Well, luckily that does mean we now have another battleship in the Mediterranean. Well, we will do when it's worked up. In terms of aircraft, destroyers, there we are. It's 5 more destroyers being built. And I suppose we can put Cadiz into the build plan. There she is. The new generation of capital ship for the Spanish Armada. At least a surface capital ship. Right, okay. So, with that, I think that's a good place to leave it for now. An hour and a half of Rule the Waves on a Tuesday, as you usually get. I'm doing this because the gameplay's getting a little bit stale, and I'm trying to keep it nice and fresh. So next week, we will see how the construction on Cadiz goes. We'll welcome our first dedicated missile cruisers into the fleet. And we will continue to take the fight to the Italians, as we have been doing thus far. Take care, everyone, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.